Hi, everybody. This is the Bitcoin Morning Brief. Today we'll find out if only a green 2 above a green 1. Yes, hello. And back on Jimmy, Tone, and I am on cloud 9 today, by the way. But hey, Jimmy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, Tone.
Hey, doing good.
All right. Well, let's jump right in because we got some fun stories and then lots of announcements. And I just can't wait. Actually, Jimmy, I'm going to start off. What's the latest with your book?
Well, I mean, I've submitted it and it's gone through technical review. I've had 4 people review it and everything. And it's with the publisher, but it's unfortunately my editor is on vacation this week. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit, but hopefully it's out by March. And I really do want to have a book launch party that's got a lot of meat in it. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
You picked that word specifically, right? Because there will be a carnivory dinner. Awesome. All right, let's get moving. So, oh boy. Litecoin takes to the UFC octagon with new sponsorship deal. I'll even just pull up Charlie Lee's tweet. Jimmy, is this just taking shilling to another level? I mean,
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it reminds me of the Dogecoin stunt that they did like 4 or 5 years ago, where they sponsored a NASCAR thing, and they
And the
put that
bobsled team.
yeah, and they put a logo of that like dog on there with a big Dogecoin symbol. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't that surprised because I don't know if you guys know who Ben Askren is, but he just got signed by the UFC recently. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world, grapplers in the world, apparently. But he tweeted that he met Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, as if it was like a big thing. And Charlie had retweeted that. So I think that's where this is coming from. Ben Askren probably went to his UFC bosses. Can we do some sort of sponsorship deal or something like that? But this is going on. I imagine a lot of people in that industry are probably like, I know a lot of traders are into UFC. They do a lot of the betting from their profits from, trading into, UFC stuff. So, I mean, there is some crossover here, but other than the trading aspect and trying to make money off of that, I don't really see this as necessarily good for Litecoin per se, but I guess we'll see.
Thanks, Jimmy. Tone, were you surprised?
I'm a little surprised. Like, I shouldn't be surprised. It's hard to answer that question, right? Like I shouldn't be surprised. Like, this is dumb. This is stupid. This is bad. Like stupidity like this keeps telling me that we're nowhere near the bear market, right? I mean, Bitcoin also sponsored an event. I remember the Bitcoin Bowl, but here's the difference, right? Like, the difference between the Bitcoin Bowl and all of this stupidity that Doge did. I mean, Litecoin is going to end how Doge ended. Like we know how Litecoin is going to end. It's going to end the same way that Doge did, right? So getting people to buy into the nonsense that Litecoin is sustainable and will be here long term by having a giant Litecoin logo on national television is a bad idea. Well, like, this is just bad. And so what can we say about this? So the difference between the Bitcoin Bowl back in 2014 is that it was a company, BitPay, that was sponsoring the game, and they chose to promote Bitcoin instead of promoting BitPay. This is not the same. This is the Litecoin Foundation. The Litecoin Foundation has one job: to get you to buy into garbage and lose your money because it's in an inferior form of money, right? Like, the Litecoin Foundation is not your friend. I'm sorry, Charlie. We're going to always disagree about this. I am becoming more and more, because look, I don't like to see my Bitcoin going down. I am invested in Bitcoin. I am invested in Bitcoin for fundamental reasons, because Bitcoin is sound money. It is the only blockchain worth holding. And I'm starting to get a little more, aggressive towards garbage like Litecoin. And as Litecoin continues to fight me by doing stupidity, like putting its logo at the bottom of an octagon ring, I will have to double down in the opposite direction by telling people, please, whatever you do, do not hold Litecoin. And the irony here is, for full disclosure, like yesterday or the day before, someone like texted me and said, hey, Tone, do you have a Litecoin address? I want to send you a little donation. And my answer was, well, I don't have a public Litecoin address, but I do have a wallet that is multi-coin. So yeah, I can generate a Litecoin address for you. Feel free to send me some Litecoin. And now I got to find out, how soon can I unload this Litecoin, and what the hell am I going to spend it on, and how the hell am I going to use it? It's only like, like 2 Litecoins. So we're not like talking, insane amount of money here. So it's no, this is bad. This is not a good thing, guys. And until something like Litecoin, goes down for the count, like one of these guys, and doesn't get up, we're going to be dealing with a Bitcoin bear market or a crypto bear market, right? Because it's all about Bitcoin. Like, the rest doesn't matter.
Thanks, Tone. Right. And when we were on the cruise, Charlie said again that, Litecoin is silver to Bitcoin's gold, yet this seems quite antithetical of definitely pushing. I guess last question, Jimmy, you think we're going to see a lot more serious branding pushes from Litecoin Foundation?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they're hoping to do with this sort of partnership. I guess it's to get more people to buy Litecoin, and apparently they have some funds and they're going to use it for that reason. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if advertising necessarily creates demand in this sort of market. It's demand that creates demand. It's actual utility as a store of value, and I'm not sure Litecoin's a very good store of value. So we'll see.
Again, just one last quick comment. Again, it goes back to Saifedean, right? It's clearly easy to print Litecoin. If the Litecoin Foundation is throwing it away, right? Like, it's easy money. That's all it is.
Did you guys see, this community driven? I got to read it really quickly. Over the last 25 years, UFC, the world's premier, has evolved from a tiny grassroots movement to a global phenomenon, largely based on the extremely passionate community it has cultivated along the way. We see many parallels to Litecoin in this way, as our amazing community has been instrumental in our growth and providing unwavering passion and enthusiasm that continues to propel us forth. So they're in parallel with UFC. Okay. All right.
Sure.
So, Lightning Power users, Jimmy, Medium, Pierre Richard, what's up here?
Yeah, so Pierre collected a lot of his Lightning posts into a easy to use place where you can look at the posts and set up a Lightning node on your PC. He has like a one-click installer. You got the Lightning Jewel Chrome extension, so you can install it onto your browser and make it like super easy to transact and so on. But yeah, he came through the Chain Code Labs Lightning developer program. So he's well positioned to be writing a lot of this stuff. And he's got it all collected in one place. It's really, this is very nice because it isn't so easy to set up, but he's tried to make it a lot easier just by doing the one-click install and so on. There are hardware devices that you can buy as well that might help in that regard. There's just a lot of things going on. So I would encourage you to take a look at this if you're interested in Lightning at all and want to get involved. It's a power user kind of thing, so it's maybe not ready for consumer adoption, but I do think that if you know what you're doing at least a little bit, this is the direction to go if you want to play with Lightning.
Thanks, Jimmy. And Tone, we've definitely been covering a lot of great Lightning news, and now it definitely looks like the community is coming together, and we have a nice repository here thanks to Pierre Richard. What do you think about this new hub?
No, this is great. Like, I got to try to find the time to read all of it. Pierre is doing amazing work. Very, very happy that he's out in front and helping educate people about Lightning. Pierre, hope you appreciate this. I'm delaying going to see Leah by a day to come to your dinner on Friday night. I actually have to go to your somehow and officially sign up for it. I'm not sure where exactly I sign up for it. Yeah, it's like a Bitcoin maximalist. You got to have like a private invite to get in. So it's great. I think I qualify as a Bitcoin maximalist to get into the dinner. Yeah, so.
When is this happening? When do you tell people when it's happening? So
I really hope it's public and I don't like blow up a spot. It's Friday, Friday the 4th. It's Friday the 4th, somewhere in the city. I have no idea where. I know I know I'm able to get in, but other than that, like some Bitcoin maximalist has to vouch for you to get in. It's like it's a fun concept. Anyway, so yeah, so I was gonna head off to DC on Friday, but it looks like I might be heading off to DC on Saturday. Yeah, I want to try to meet up with him, chat a little bit. I honestly have not had time to set up my Lightning node to work with Lightning. But I'm not really doing microtransactions right now. Like my transactions are of decent size, so I don't really have a need for Lightning right now, and I'm happy to pay the mining fees right now. I actually raised mine to like 5 to 10 cents. I'm okay with that. So yeah, but hey, great work, man. Keep it up. There's no quit. Like you got to keep going. You got to keep going until we win, right? And we got a long way to go. I mean, look at freaking Litecoin is putting their stupid logo on Octagon because clearly there's too much Litecoin around and no one knows what the hell to do with it, and it's just being wasted.
Thanks, Tone. And everybody, we covered Jewel, I believe, in the last Bitcoin morning brief or the one before, just if everybody wants more information on it. And Jameson, thanks for letting us know. Malware attack against Electrum wallet. We'll pull up the GitHub in a second. Jimmy, I have an Electrum wallet. Am I in danger? What's happening here?
Well, only if you are getting into stuff like this. Apparently, there's some sort of malware attack. I don't know if it's like a man in the middle or something like that. But this security update required warning is not for real. And in fact, this will download a malware and apparently will cause you to lose your funds or something like that. I'm surprised that this is one of the first attacks of this kind that we've seen, because I mean, this is a gold mine, right? Like there's a lot of people with a lot of money, and because a lot of light wallets have a centralized point of failure, Electrum wallets use Electrum servers, and they do the communication, including like updates and warnings and stuff like that, I guess, which is how they got this pop-up to work. You got to be very careful with that stuff. There hasn't really been, most light wallets that I've heard of use some sort of centralized service, and that's not privacy preserving, but it also opens you up to attacks like this. It widens your attack surface. One of the things that I think I'm hoping that Neutrino brings forward are wallets that are actually really private. That use the network protocol and don't have to rely on a server architecture in order to, actually transact on the Bitcoin network. Once we get that sort of thing going, it will be a lot better. But in the meantime, if you're using a light wallet, these are the things that you kind of have to deal with. I would recommend that if you can, use a full node wallet whenever it's possible. But use light wallets only for small amounts.
Thanks, Jimmy. Tone?
Yeah, be very careful. Everyone's trying to steal your Bitcoin. No one gives a shit about your Litecoin. Everyone's trying to steal your Bitcoin. Okay? Be careful with what you're doing. Learn what you're doing, and protect your Bitcoin at all costs. I mean, what else can I say?
Yeah, I guess just to finish that, Jameson writes brilliant Medium articles. We've covered a couple. One of them is specifically how to be careful about when you are a public figure about talking about your Bitcoin and ensuring some safety. This is definitely interesting articles. So yes, everybody with Electrum, heed this warning today and definitely listen to Jimmy on what's happening there. Okay, a flood of questionable cryptocurrency offerings. This is by the Wall Street Journal. And Tone, I don't know if you've looked through all of these brilliant coins. I have maybe heard of two, to be very honest.
I actually couldn't pull that up. I didn't have time to get around the paywall of I just didn't have the time to get around the Wall Street Journal paywall because we were like rushing the show. So I have no idea. Let me put this on the big screen on my end. What are we looking at?
So Jimmy taught me the trick that if you go through the Twitter feed you can get past the paywall.
Oh yeah, no. I know like 3 different tricks. Like I said, I just didn't have the time to do it.
All right. So Jimmy, do you wanna talk about this? Pretty simply put, as it says up here. So there was a search for hundreds of projects showing signs of plagiarism, identity theft, and promises of improbable returns. They go through loads of, I guess, 513 projects and different flags. And I really have not heard of more than 2. Jimmy, what were your thoughts when you read this?
Yeah, I mean, basically, the Wall Street Journal has finally come around to what Tone and I have been saying for like the last 2 years, right? Like most of this stuff is like a blatant scam. Some of them are a little bit more subtle on their scamminess, but most of these things are like absolutely no question, like very easily provable to be scams. Like, and it's because of the things that they analyze in here, like plagiarizing entire white papers, like entire pages of it, like promises of returns that are like absolutely impossible. It's very much in the realm of Ponzi schemes or like pyramid schemes. And they just go through it and like apply common sense to a lot of this stuff, and they came to the same conclusion. Shocker, that Tone and I have over a very long period of time. So it's great that the mainstream is actually coming around to this, and Wall Street Journal is about as mainstream as you get. I'm hoping that they continue digging down this trail and come to conclusions more about the bigger stuff like the Ethereums and the Cardanos and things like that. I don't think Cardano was in there, and obviously Tron and Ripple and pretty much everything other than Bitcoin. And I'd like to see that from them, and it'll be easier to do in a bear market because they'll be like, well, they promised you this return and hasn't gotten there. Yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, this is very well done. Just to say up top, I didn't say it correctly. Nearly 3,300 crypto offerings were reviewed, which is utterly ridiculous. And to your point, Jimmy, the filtering by type of red flags. I mean, this is just like, how can you not stay away from, fake team suggests a can't miss opportunity, no team disclosed. It's what's absolute scams. Tone.
Yeah, well, I can't believe they reviewed that many. I mean, that is such a waste of time and such a waste of money to review that many. Now, can I defend the plagiarism angle of this, right? So for like, if you scroll down that list, you're gonna see like hundreds of altcoins and projects none of us have ever heard of. And what you have to realize is there's probably about 20 or 30 people across like 1,000 projects where the 20 or 30 people, it's their job to write white papers. So it's very, very likely that the same person wrote a white paper for like 40 or 50 of these projects. So it's not necessarily plagiarism. It's literally the same person writing a white paper. So I think if they actually looked into the language, they would discover this. So I'm not sure that's actually plagiarism. It's still scammy, but maybe not necessarily plagiarism. Now, the only ones that matter are the ones that are in the top 20. And what you got to do is you got to dig into those. You should have spent like, 10 to 20% of your time saying that everything outside of the top 20 or the top 30, they're all blatant plagiarized scams like this. And then you actually start digging into some of these white papers like the Cardano, like the EOS. I mean, I dug into the Steemit paper. I did a 40-page write-up on a Steemit paper, 42 pages to be exact, because the Steemit paper was 42 pages. I actually criticized every page of the Steemit paper. The PDF document is on the old website of Liberty Life Trail. Like, that's what you got to do. Like, there were some of the most ridiculous claims in that Steemit white paper, and they're all like that. It's just, this space is ridiculous.
Thanks, Stone. And I completely agree with Jimmy's point that it's great that the Wall Street Journal did do this. Also, that they are able to show just how utterly ridiculously easy these are, just such utter scams. And I do think in the long run that will be great for Bitcoin if more publications can do more things like this. I agree with you, to bigger names as well. But at least we have a first step of differentiating Bitcoin from at least these low-hanging fruit scams. But if you're already just displaying 513 with reportedly raised funds in these utterly ridiculous flags, I think we're making a first step, or at least the media is. So great. And all right, Mempool, I'm going to refresh this, but Jimmy, weather report, please. It's going to refresh.
Yeah, let's get a nice refresh and then I'll take a look. I mean, it's been pretty steady. I think during the holidays, there's not as many withdrawals and stuff. So the mempool's clearing actually really fast. So, you know, if you can wait like an hour, you can probably get in for one Satoshi per byte. If you need it in the next block, I mean, 10 will probably do it, 10, 15, somewhere on there. But yeah, the mempool, you could see all the spikes down every time. That means it's clearing completely. So yeah, you don't need to worry very much. And it's great that we continue to have this thing, and good time to open up some Lightning channels if you're into that. And I don't know. I'm one of my goals during this little mini break is set up some sort of a Lightning store and start selling stuff on it. And I think Tone and Leah, you guys should do that too. Maybe
Yeah,
you could...
we're right after the. I mean, we're trying to do it before the conference, but it's just too much. I am planning to have a store on my. I mean, like, there's so much stuff I want to sell with like my own branding and stuff like that. Like the Unconfiscatable shirts. Yeah, so we're definitely going to get a store going on my website.
Jimmy, maybe your book?
Yeah, that's I want to have not just my book, but like an O'Reilly book pack, and you know, like send it along with like Andreas's book. And I want to have like a limited edition signed one with like a PGP signature, something like that. This is you know, my conference. Obviously, the next two conferences that I'm going to are Tones, Unconfiscatable, and Advancing Bitcoin in London, and that's also where I'm going to have my seminar. So if you would like to learn a lot more about Bitcoin, including I mean, at the end of the seminar, you use the network protocol to get your UTXOs, construct the transaction, and send it over the network. That's what you will be able to do from scratch, you know, after you've taken my course. Also have my book coming up, and that is the cover on that. It will change to color because they're going to make the inside color. But yeah, this is you know, something that I've been writing for about a year. Now that I'm learning about neutrino and dandelion and stuff, I am probably going to have to write another book this coming year, and that's going to be an interesting thing. Yeah.
Hey Jimmy, I have no idea what those things are, but like Peter Todd texted me the other day that he wants to talk about that stuff at the conference. So you guys might have a good fireside chat. So you may want to brush up on that.
Oh, I'm like knee deep and neck deep into neutrino right now. I'm like actually writing my own wallet just to see how it all works.
I have no idea what this is, so I'm looking forward to you and Peter Todd talking about it on stage.
Yeah, I'm actually giving a talk at the Advancing Bitcoin conference on neutrino specifically, and why it's a lot better than BIP37, which was the standard for a while. And no wallet actually uses BIP37. And we were talking about like client security with Electrum earlier. That's part of the problem, is that you need to connect to an Electrum server. There aren't that many. Whereas with something like neutrino, you can connect to any Bitcoin node that has that flag set. Once BIP 157 gets in, that'll be a part of the network, and it'll be very easy to verify, and it'll be a lot cleaner. You'll have a lot of the privacy preserving, and you'll get rid of the denial of service vector that's there with BIP37. So fantastic innovation. I'm hoping that Dandelion makes it, because that'll make transmission transmission of your transactions much more private as well. But that's another whole thing. We could talk about it at some point. I'm probably gonna have to write some articles first just to explain it all. But yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome. Jimmy, are you able to stick around?
Well, I am actually kind of curious. I'll stick around.
All right, I'm gonna make it quick because too many podcasts today. Just a quick update on Unconfiscatable tournament. We have 5 tickets left currently for the poker game, general registration. Still trying to get some of the crypto celebrities to pay up, and then we can, put the final seats up for sale over the next couple of weeks. Replacing Willy Woo. I know we're a little lazy on changing the website. We will do that. 35 tickets left at 0.15, and then we'll see if we keep it at that price or possibly raise it. Got a couple of more VIP seats. Hey, Nick, thank you for your donation. I see a question. Can we make a rule at the poker game that everyone takes a shot on every full house and above? Oh, man, there's big money on the line there, man. I don't know if I can enforce that rule, but we'll think about it. All right. Quick thing, Bitcoin, the monthly chart remains as a reversal candle for now. We got about 4 days to go. Let's see how that ends. The weekly chart. Wow. What the hell happened since our podcast an hour ago, Leah? Holy shit. Look at this. We're down to 36. That was my line. That was my panic line. And that's not good. The weekly chart is not looking good. We still have about 3 days to go to salvage this nonsense. But look how close we are to that blue line. Now, that blue line is a big problem for me. Now, we have to close below this line and then create a lower low. Now, of course, if we keep going down to like 3,200, I wouldn't hold my long position that long. So this is not good at all. I don't like this. And this is starting to bother me at this point. I am looking at this. This was the short indication by the sequential system, a red 2 going below a red 1. The red 1 happened to be a reversal shooting star candle that happened to get rejected at the setup trend line. All of this was bad. You now have a terrible 4 candle. Still about 6 hours to go. Anything can happen in this candle, but as of right now, I am looking at Bitcoin sub 3,000 in a very near future. We just dipped below 3,600. This blue line is very critical to me. Can this be a head fake and we go back to the upside? It's possible. If we close below this blue line, I will be taking my $5,000 target off the table. I will admit that Tyler Jenks was right, and we do not go above 4,200, and we never were able to close above 4,200. This is looking pretty bad. Here is a shorter term time frame. The cup and handle did not work out at all, and I talked about this on the last podcast. This is now a 6 of 9 on a 12-hour chart. We basically just broke 2 major points of support. Still need to close this candle, 4.5 hours to go. 3 more candles of downside. If we go below the setup trend line, currently at the very low of the market, this setup trend line is at about 3,180. Once you get below that, 2,000, here we come. I just don't see 2,800 doing anything to the price. I'm trying to find other points of support. There's absolutely no point of support on a daily scale. There is no point of support on a weekly scale other than potentially the $3,000 target. But to me, that's been hit because we came so close. There is no points of support here. I mean, it's a straight shot down to under 2K. This is not good at all. We need to be defended here in the next 4 hours. You need a monster rally, but the 12-hour chart is saying 3 more candles of downside. Once again, if you are the trader of the sequential system and you've been paying attention the last 30 minutes or so, because this is This just happened in the last 30 minutes. I didn't know what was happening. We were on a podcast. And I mean, here's your line. And that's the break of prior swing lows. That's usually acceleration to the downside. You had a red 2 that did not go below a red 1, but you had a red 3 that went below a red 2, and it was breaking a moving average. All indications of bad things are about to happen. That was a short trade on the 4-hour chart using the sequential system, no different than the last time we had a red 3 go below a red 2. When did that happen? Well, that happened right here. All I did was go back the last time I saw a red 3 go below a red 2, because look, the prior time you had a red 1, you did have a red 2 go below that red 1, which is an indication of a short trade. It did not close as a red 2. You can either leave your stop loss or get out of that trade. The prior time you had a red 2 did not go below a red 1, but a red 3 did go below a red 2. That is your next short trade. This is just not good at all. And again, if I go back even further, it also happened here, but then it rallied to the upside. It's not always going to work. Obviously, nothing works 100% of the time. So, and the prior time to that, you had a red 4 go below a red 3, and that certainly did create a big drop down, even though it put you in the profit. So this was not a losing trade. This would have been a losing trade on December 23rd, but the last 2 would have been, and the one right now, as of 20 minutes ago or so, those would have been profitable. Hourly chart doesn't really matter these days. I don't really care. Nothing interesting in the ratio of longs to shorts. Looks like GBTC took a big hit down. That's unfortunate. And that's it. We talked about traditional markets a lot this morning on the Hyperwave channel. Looks like we're pulling back some more right now. Please check out the Hyperwave channel for the traditional markets. I just want to look at the daily chart. Yeah, this candle is still going down. Just check out Hyperwave for details on the traditional markets. Not looking great. And oil is doing what I expect it to be doing, which is continuation to the downside into the countdown phase. So that makes sense. Gold continues to go up.
Tone, are you frozen?
I guess he's the one that's frozen, not me.
Not me for the first time too.
Well, let me answer that question that was in the live chat.
Yep.
What happens when Bitcoin prices go up? Will the funding for Lightning Channel remain the same? Yeah, because it's denominated in Bitcoin. So that's what's locked up. So it goes up and down with the Bitcoin price, but hopefully the things that you're buying are priced in Bitcoin, so it's not as critical. So yeah, something to think about.
So while we give Tone, oh, okay. Actually, I think we lost Tone completely.
Yeah, well, he might come back. Oh,
there
okay.
we go.
There we go.
Hello, host.
When did I cut out?
You were talking about crude. Oh, about
okay,
to talk
fine.
about gold.
I was done. Crude is, yeah, I was done. That's fine. We'll leave it here.
For anyone that's curious about traditional markets, Tone and Tyler spoke for the past 90 minutes. So you can go and watch that. But yes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Go check out Hyperwave from earlier today. We talked a lot about traditional markets. We didn't really talk about crude or gold much. Tyler and I need to do a show about gold. It's doing very interesting things in this big drop in the S&P.
My crude play is almost there. All right, guys, I have missed doing the 3 of us. This is a lot of fun. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining.
Well, thank you. This song is done.
Bye, Tone.
Bye, guys. See you all on the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, wait, I got to stop this.